meeting to order for the 28th of July of the Municipal Planning Commission. First up is additions to the agenda, if there are any. Okay. Let's review the current agenda then. For the meeting, I think we have, what, two applications. Yes, okay, motion to adopt the agenda for the 28th of July.
Well,
Tom, okay, thank you. Okay. If you've had a chance, all in favor? Yep. If you've had a chance to review the minutes of the previous meeting, any corrections, alterations, deletions? Okay.
Yep, haven't done this before. Under 6.0, the freestanding sign one, the second paragraph, Development Authority recognizes, just the typo there. And then in the third paragraph, confirmation was received from Alberta Transportation instead of for.
So sorry, Tony, that second paragraph, the Development Authority recognizes?
Yeah.
Are you saying this is a spelling error, recognize, or is there
Isn't
something
it a
else?
Z?
It's a different way of spelling it. It's
Oh, it is.
It's
Okay.
the British English way
American
of spelling
versus a
Not the
Canadian.
Canadian one.
Yeah, this is Canada, Dave. I agree.
I can stop
All
being
right.
English if you.
Okay. And the third one should be, or the second one should be from instead of for. Alberta Transportation.
Any further? Okay, motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting of June 30th, 2022. As corrected. Tony? And Kirk. Thank you. All in favor? Summary of the development permits for the 27th of June through the 19th or 19th of July. Okay. So need a proposed motion for the
To adopt those as information, do we not?
well, it seems to be,
Accept the summary?
yeah.
So I would move that the Municipal Planning Commission accept the summary of development permits for information only.
I'll second it.
Okay.
And I have comments before we vote.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a concern with the 6722D Magnet Signs Stettler Limited. And I'm not particularly concerned about the one sign and this sign, but it just kind of struck me. I don't know if you have driven through Stettler lately. Anybody that has driven through Stettler would see the number of signs that they have along their roadway is absolutely, in my opinion, ridiculous. Like, it is sign after sign after sign after sign after sign after sign. And I'm not sure what they have in their bylaw in terms of how many signs you can have, what types of signs. These are all the magnet signs that basically standard format with the fluorescent letters. And there are literally 20 of those, like in a block. And so to me, it looks horrible. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I would disagree. Somebody would disagree. But I look at all that we have done in Drumheller to beautify our entrances, particularly the emphasis we've put on our tourist corridors. And I think we have to maybe step back and look at this a little bit more. I don't know what it says in the land use bylaw in terms of how many signs and what kind of signs and where they are. But literally, I mean, they've got like signs in front of planters. And I'm going, what's the use of having a planter if you have a sign in front of it? I mean, it totally defeats the purpose of your any kind of beautification or anything. So I'm just wondering if we could somehow take a look at that a little bit, because if we ever got to that point where we had signs like that, that is just horrible. I mean, it's just over the top, horribly ugly, totally opposite of what council is trying to do in terms of beautification, tourism corridor, that kind of stuff. So that's my rant.
Is
So,
it-
just saying, you gotta drive through Stettler and look. You come in from the south, wow,
So
it's just incredible.
I've looked at the land use bylaw in Stettler a couple of times, specifically from the applications from coming in from Stettler. They're valid for a year in that location, whereas in our land use bylaw, they're only valid for 60 days. That being said, there is nothing in the land use bylaw today that says that you can't reapply for it as soon as that 60 days is over and get a new 60-day one. So that might be something that we should be putting in as a, you can apply for a 60-day twice perhaps in a year for temporary advertising, which is what this is for. It's for a temporary advertising of a class that's coming up in the campus Alberta.
Yeah, I would be curious to see what Stettler has in their land use bylaw in terms of signage, because I mean, I've gone through there half a dozen times in the last couple of months, and they're all there
Mhm.
all the time. And they've been there, as far as I can remember, for years now. And it's just like, wow, we've gotta not get to that somehow. So if we could just look at it, that's all I'm just drawing our attention. We might something to look at. Thank you.
the we should just look at it. Who does that really belong to?
Could be NPC, could be council.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it up to us to make a recommendation that be reviewed because we don't like
So-
the look of it, or who is it up to?
I think that's a great question. I think it's, if MPC wanted to say, so we're having to bring back a pretty big review or revision to the bylaw, land use bylaw. And we've been working on it for several months, and I think it's pretty easy to incorporate something like that in there, right? So, as part of it. So
Yeah.
if MPC is suggesting that is something you want administration to look at, then we can certainly include that as part of it, so.
So should this have been made an additional agenda item, and then should we make a recommendation under that agenda item?
I think
to
you can,
council?
no, you don't
How
need
does that
to,
work?
Andrew, I think you can make, I think if the request is that you can make a motion to say that based on this discussion, that you'd like to have administration take a look at that, at what we're doing in the land use bylaw with respect to portable signs, and then vote on that, then we could take that away. So then it's minuted, everything, so.
So then, will that fall to you to make the motion, to have it reviewed?
We should vote on this first.
Yep.
So I think you had a motion.
And a second.
And a second.
And a seconder?
Oh, don't know.
Okay. Do I get to, no. Yep. Okay,
And then Tom can make the motion.
I could make a motion.
Yeah, so I think the next piece is that sort of, it would be like business arising out of this, so,
discussion, yeah.
out of the discussion. So Tom makes a motion that says, I'd like to have council, or the MPC recommends that administration looks at this as part of their land use bylaw review, with respect to signage, portable signs and what they look like.
Temporary signage, duration, all of that fun stuff.
And how many per 100 meters or something like that?
Yeah, density or concentration,
Yeah.
yeah, because I agree, it looks terrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got something like that? read us what you got.
Teaserski in motion for from the Municipal Planning Commission to have administration review the land use bylaw requirements for portable signs, including density, concentration, and duration of placement.
Good idea.
I'll second it.
All
Shelley,
right.
second, and then all in favor.
All in favor? Yes. All right. Moving forward, the existing development permits, the first one we have up is T 00061 by 22D. Mobile vendor burrito bus.
So, we have application T0061-21D mobile vendor, the burrito bus, which is an out-of-town application for a mobile vendor to operate at the Splash Park, the Newcastle Beach, and at the suspension bridge if they're looking to do so. They are operating out of a vehicle that has no has no equipment inside, and is powered by a small generator. Is preparing items like burritos, tacos, drinks, and will come frozen and pre-portioned. But meat and things isn't cooked within the vehicle itself. Speaking to them, they've supplied us with the AHS requirements, town insurance, the works to operate as soon as possible. Their fire inspection came from the town of Hannah, which is where they're based out of. When I spoke to our fire chief, he was more than happy accepting the document that was submitted as confirmation of a fire inspection. Apart from that, sure standard mobile vending permit application.
So is the signage going to be included in it? I see an email about
So
signage.
there's a sandwich board, which is permitted under the,
Okay.
providing that it's the same size as in the land use bylaw, which is 2 by 3 feet, which it is when I last discussed that with him.
This is the vehicle? This looks cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
So we've got a number of applications now and approved applications so far for mobile vendors in the Splash Park, and it's getting to be quite a competitive area. There are lots of spaces though, both food trucks and the Nate, who's the little ice cream vendor, who's not taking up one of the food truck spaces, but it is getting to be quite popular down there again.
And this comes to MPC because
Mobile.
It's mobile vending bylaw.
mobile, that's
Yeah.
discretionary.
Yeah, mobile vendor permits are still the discretionary use, yeah.
Any further discussion? Move. Yeah, Tom?
Yeah, I move acceptance of municipal Planning Commission approves development permit application T0061/22D motor vehicle submitted by Jeremy Kavanaugh for mobile vendor burrito bus located at Rotary Splash Park, Newcastle Beach and Suspension Bridge, subject to conditions as presented.
Seconded by Kurt. All in favor? Approved. Next one, item 6.2, T00068 by 22D, mobile vendor, Lou's Lemonade.
So this is another youth application. Finley is 16, and has been operating as a lemonade stand through the farmers market, but had wanted to do so at the Splash Park instead. I said to them, if you're going through the same motions as everyone else at the Splash Park, it does need to go through the same processes as everyone else. So we They're just looking at doing this in a non-food truck location at the splash park, so similar location that Nate Serrata, the bike bus, was approved out of one of the designated food truck zones, just on a grassy spot in the splash park there. They had have also received Alberta Health's things, but no, sort of nothing's being cooked, so we don't need a fire inspection for this. And they're doing the manufacturing, I suppose, out of the not out of their house, out of a different location, but it's rented as a place where they can do so. I believe it's the old St. Anthony's School. And again, AHS had no concerns, which I just received that this morning, so I didn't attach that into the agenda here.
I'll make the motion to accept T 00068-22D mobile vendor. Municipal Planning Commission approves development permit application T 00068-22D MV submitted by Fraylene Hunter for mobile vendor Lou's Lemonade located at the Rotary Splash Park, subject to conditions as presented.
Seconder, Tony?
Just a question. So Finley Hunter is under 18, and this is submitted by Stephanie Hunter.
The mother on their behalf. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to what we received from the previous youth vendor. And I've outlined to them that if they are going to be operating as an adult, not as a youth, then the fee is different, but the requirements are still the same.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm just looking at it and going, can the applicant be Finley Hunter, or does it have to be Stephanie Hunter? So somebody underage can apply to a development permit? But it has to be co-signed by the, yeah, okay. I don't remember having one before.
That's actually the same one that we had for Soretta, right? The
Okay.
young Soretta did the, you may have been, you weren't here.
Oh,
So
here.
we had the same thing for an ice cream vendor a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had a seconder, right, Tony? So all in favor? Okay. Moving forward, Palliser. Palliser is not here.
Devin's on holiday. He told me that there was
Palliser's
nothing
on
from
holiday. Other discussion items, or we've already had that discussion, or is there more? Are there more items? No? All right. Next meeting therefore is August 11th, 2022.
them. I have nothing for that so far, so we'll see if that happens.
Okay. So motion to adjourn by
Shelley?
Shelley, geez, I just went absolutely brain dead there. And seconded? Kirk, all right.